was here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show. You just never know which way you'll go. Get ready for Digitspin crypto.
Hey! It's Dino! I do exist! I'm still here! All the rumors of me catching this virus is not true. Greatly exaggerated. I've been out collecting. I got all my toilet paper here. So I'm all set. All I need is some pizza to rent. And I got my toilet paper. So I'm set. It's building up. It's building up. Oh God, toilet paper. Oh my gosh. Toilet paper. So it's Digitspin crypto. Yeah. You guys, I'm sure you're glad that I made it back. I see a couple of you on the chat. Glad to see you guys there. Now, I'm just a goofy guy in a straw hat, so nothing that I say is financial advice. I'm not your financial planner, so don't pretend that I am. Let's get that out of the way. All right. Wow! My last video was the 2020 crash, Bitcoin crash. And, yeah, it sure did, huh? I think everything's a mess at the moment. Now, where I'm at, you know, the state that I'm in is basically a social state. Everything here is about restaurants, movies, beaches, theme parks, events, conventions, and my business basically services all those things. So when they close up, I'm out of business. So it's been a rough ride for me. I have a chance to catch up on some old work, invent some new products, take a look at my manufacturing processes, and see what can be made better for the rest of the year. And even when a lot of these companies come back, it's going to be a slow build for me on my business. So not a lot of extra money for Bitcoin, because I only spend what I can afford to lose, and right now I need to stay very liquid, so it keeps everything going. I mean, just to keep the building open and the lights and the internet, it cost me $15,000 a month. So I gotta make sure that keeps up to date. The good news is we're starting to get some companies calling us up, planning for the summer. So that's a good sign. That they're looking to rock and roll. Once things to get going, I'm gonna probably be up to my eyeballs and things to do. But in the meantime, I'm a one-man show. I'm doing 12 people's worth of work. Guess I didn't need them anyway, right? No. It's been crazy. This virus stuff. Wow. I hope you guys are safe. I hope nobody's caught this. If you take a look at some of the news articles, they're talking about how they're noticing it affects blood, a lot of blood clots and things, and so there's a lot more damage that goes on, which is weird. Another thing that I noticed that was odd, if you take a look, they were saying that people that consume nicotine have an 80% less catchability rate. I don't know what the technical term is, which is an odd thing. So, strange stuff. So I hope all you guys are hanging in there. I know a lot of you guys are out of work, and you know, you got a lot of these Bitcoin YouTube shows. Yeah, Bitcoin's gonna be doing this and doing that, and I'm like, bullshit. You know, Bitcoin can get to the Bitcoin can get to its all-time high with just the Bitcoiners and the crypto people. It'll never get to an all-time high without the average Joe. Average Joe is the person in 2017 that brought Bitcoin from the 1,000 to 19,000. Without that average Joe, it never would have reached that. Now, the only reason why the average Joe knew about it was because the price hit that $1,000 mark and continued to go up a bit. Started to hit a few $1,000s, and then the word started getting out, because it was internally it can hit all-time highs, just like we hit that 14,000 with nobody outside. It was just done with us guys who are in crypto, willing to pay that and to see the value go up. And as you know, it won't hit the news and all that other stuff until it hits 19 grand again. And then the news are going to be like, Bitcoin all-time high, 19 grand, 20 grand. And then the average Joe gets in. Maybe. It depends on when this all happens. Usually, you know, 6 months after the halving. So we're looking at Christmas time before we start to see it to get to all-time highs, if we're lucky. And then at that point, we'll have to see how the economies are going. I don't know about you guys, but the state I am in is going to be having dramatic problems. It's going to take a while. Disney's going to take, you know, you're looking at the fall, maybe the end of the year, for them to start to reopen. And if they do reopen, it'll be very sporadic and just one park, and there'll be all sorts of amazing things, like you'll have to wear a mask, and you know only so many people, no lines or rides to get online. Some rides can't be opened. So yeah, that sounds magical, right? Yeah, Facebook. Oh, where's Mickey Mouse? Oh, you can't touch Mickey Mouse. I want to hug Mickey Mouse. I want to hug Mickey Mouse. No, you can't touch Mickey Mouse. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Florida's screwed. Because everything here is social. And it's going to be a real problem. There's quite a few states. And, you know, and you got all these Bitcoiners, all these YouTubers out there. Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. They're all full of crap. This is nonsense that they're spewing out. All this hopium and bull. If the economy isn't able to re-kickstart, you're going to see a very small increase. You know, when I say small, it should have hit 100,000 approximately under normal conditions. Economy doesn't re-kick, and there's not an average Joe. You know, we'll be lucky if we hit 40, 45. We'll be lucky. Now I'm hoping we hit the 20 by, you know, sometime around the middle, sometime around Christmas. Then we got all of next year. And the problem is this crap's gonna happen again next year. And if you think it's not, you need to check yourself. Alright? Stuff comes around and comes and goes. And that's the reason why the flu season is called flu season. It's been like that in perpetuity. So, if the average Joe right now is out of a job, doesn't know exactly how they're going to pay their mortgage or their rent, has no way to to even secure a job. There are very few that are available. And the ones that are out there, they're paying 20% less. It's going to be a real struggle, and that average Joe is not going to be able to put the money into Bitcoin. Not that they don't want to, they ain't going to be able to. Alright? So, you're going to get the truth here. Those other YouTube channels are all puffing smoke at you. Yeah, it's fine, it's good, the price is going to go up, it's, look at the chart, look good, and all that good stuff. And, for the most part, you're going to see some action. With those that have money in there's a lot of tether all bundled up waiting to be spent. We're going to see it hit that 14 again. We're going to see it go up to that 19. It ain't going to hit 100 grand when the average Joe's on a soup line. Ain't going to happen. There's no way. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we're able to get things rocking and rolling again. It's going to be real important. It's going to be real important. Or basically we're going to, lose a year. Now my other big concern is, if the price doesn't escalate, you're going to have a lot of hash rate defect or shutdown. It's pretty significant, the happening this time. So we'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting year. I'm very curious to see how this is all going to turn out. Me myself, I haven't seen I've applied for unemployment. I've applied for all sorts of stuff. I'm supposed to get like a $600 check or a $1,200 check. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen a thing from nobody. I know some people have got it, but I'm not the only clown out there that hasn't seen a thing from the government to quote assist in this time. So if it wasn't for existing funds or working hard, what I'm doing now, there'd be no income whatsoever. So there are people in, I'm in okay shape, but there are people that, have no savings, and it's going to be tough on them. And if they have Bitcoin, they have themselves some ETN or Ethereum or whatever they got, they're going to sell it for food. They're going to sell it to keep a roof on their head. So there's going to be a lot of downward pressure. So keep your eyes open. Be careful about the mainstream media. The news likes to make things a lot worse than they are, but there's a lot of truth in between all of the nonsense and fluff, and it's gonna affect cryptocurrency. Keep that in mind. So if you're having big dreams of the halving, make sure you temper it a bit going forward. Just my personal opinion, not financial advice, because I could be all wet. But I don't see how it gets over 25,000 without the average Joe. I just don't see how it can happen. If we take a look, let's see here. Let's go out to my Telegram channel. There's a lot of good stuff out here. Everybody's typing. Okay. Let's see if I can find the bottom. I wanted to bring up. Let's see if I have it here. Maybe I put it on Bitcoin TV. There we go. The Bitcoin halving. There it is. All right. So I have it over here. Let's bring that up. Let's get my head out of the way. So we got 18 days. Clearly, this was supposed to happen sometime mid-April, and again, this comes back to the point that when hash rate starts slowing down, it takes longer to create blocks on the Bitcoin blockchain, and therefore it extends out. All right, you're looking now at May 12th. 18 days, 5 hours, give or take. We'll see how that turns out. And that's a pretty significant difference from 12 and a half, which is currently the emission, down to 6 and a quarter. And the next one's gonna be interesting also. But each time it's getting a smaller deduction, and this is the reason why you'll start to see the inflation start to kind of trim out as it goes. It starts to level off, and this is where the price of Bitcoin will start to stabilize. There won't be that much of a giant bump anymore. You know, so if you have the extra dollars, you know, it is a good time to buy it. And it's a tough call, but don't go spend any money that you need to eat and pay your mortgage. What you can do with Bitcoin, you got no place to put your stuff. Make sure you take care of your business first, and then if you have some extra, get it into it. It'll work the best for you. Let's take a look. Oh, there you guys got stuff up there. Let's see what we can see if we can move this over. Let's put the chat up. So I also wanted to talk about this here. You guys have seen these. Ripple suing YouTube for the scams. You guys see them all the time. All of a sudden there's a video out there, and it's playing what looks like a live video. And it's Garlinghouse out there, and he's talking about Ripple, this, that, and the other thing, and hey, we're gonna give away all these coins. And it's so clear it's a scam, and YouTube just literally refuses. People go and they report it, and it stays up for 12 hours a day, 24, 48 hours before it's shut down. And yet they go turn off the YouTube cryptocurrency, the guys that are most widely known, they shut them off, they delete their channels, and they leave this nonsense running. Well, Garlinghouse obviously is fed up, so he's going to be suing. He's suing YouTube, and this is what's going to happen: is YouTube's going to have to react either way, and they're going to add into their algorithm giveaway. And if you're doing a giveaway, your video is going to get flagged, and you're going to have to appeal it and all this other stuff. So this is going to cause more damage to cryptocurrency YouTubing production going forward. But unfortunately, it needs to be done. And of course, a lot of the YouTubers are looking on ways to find multiple resources for distribution of their content. And you'll see names out there like Ivan on Tech that's created his own system. There are other third-party systems that you can run it. I'm actually working on finding a way to do that also, and where we'll have a Digitspin TV or a Digitspin live, and you'll be able to go there and then be able to post it on YouTube. I think YouTube basically has gotten too big to be able to control it, and this is the reason why the algorithms have to take care of it. It's not feasible to monitor with a human, and the AI will just shut it down or shut somebody down or delete them, and it has to be reviewed to get it all fixed. But in the meantime, it causes havoc. And it's not the cryptocurrency only. I watch a lot of other YouTube shows, and this goes on whether you're talking about movies, comic books, magic shows. It doesn't matter. YouTube's just failing. What they've produced does not work, and it may be a problem that just can't be solved. I'm not exactly sure, but unfortunately they have to err on the side of caution, and it damages channels. It damages people's livelihood. There are a lot of folks that all they do with these YouTube shows, and as you guys know, I do this for fun. I make like $20 a month or something. It's not something that keeps me with a chicken on the table for dinner. It's something that I do just to interact with you guys. But there are folks that make a lot of money and do a lot of stuff with YouTube, bring in a lot of good dollars, have people that they're paying, and it's going to affect them also. So keep an eye on this, and let's see where this goes along. Let's see what happens. They were talking about this also. This was interesting on Cointelegraph. That more and more people are hodling Bitcoin. Even Bloomberg is talking about how Bitcoin is basically digital gold, and they're all coming to that realization. So it will be big. There's no doubt about it. It will be big. I'm just not sure we're going to get the bump that we deserved this time around. I'm hesitant to say that that we're going to get as big as a bump as we deserved because of the world events that are going on right now. But again, grab a hold and make sure you get yourself one if you can afford to, and put that Bitcoin away. Here's one that's going to be important not only for folks that like to trade, but also Electroneum people. And this is interesting. You're going to want to take a look at this. I have these articles posted on my Telegram channel. You can go to the videos, click on the link, and be able to get to my private Digitspin Telegram channel. In there, a lot of folks that interact with myself and others, and we talk about a lot of these subjects. You'll find me on there far more often than I am on video. But it's interesting. KuCoin, in this article, they're talking about how KuCoin denied that their domain was locked. Now, it wasn't banned, so you can still reach KuCoin, but it was locked, which means that it can't be transferred or modified. And it was a court order. And then KuCoin denied it, and then they found the email from GoDaddy.com, which confirmed that they did get a court order to lock the account, to keep it from being transferred, which is weird and interesting. And the reason is, I think, is basically, and you're going to want to go through this, there's a lot of stipulations that have been posted under the account. But they're talking about here that they were talking about the trademark rights for KuCoin logo and the main company that owns it, which is Phoenix or PhoenixFin, PTE. So there may be some kind of issue there. The other problem bothers me is KuCoin legal trouble in the U.S. Now, obviously, if you're new to KuCoin and you live in restricted areas such as the U.S., you cannot open up an account. There are some people that do have some grandfathered accounts, but KuCoin was listed in the class action lawsuit, which was, of course, filed in New York in the Southern District, which is known for taking big liberties with these types of lawsuits. And that KuCoin basically violated the securities listings and securities violations by promoting their KuCoin token. So if you keep a lot of crypto on KuCoin, it may be in your best interest to make sure that you don't. Until all this kind of clears up. If you're able to trade there, God bless you, cool, good for you. I wouldn't keep more than I would make my trade and then move it off and go from there. My suggestion to you do with the information with what you want. But this is this is big for Electroneum because KuCoin is the largest exchange by default, because all the other ones either did a poor job or got hacked. Jeez. Can you say Cryptopia? So a lot of folks are using KuCoin, and this is going to be an issue for them. So keep that in the back of your head, guys. Let's take a look here. $74.90, which is a good price. What did it go down when it crashed? When I did that last show, it went down to what, 4,000, 4,400, 4,500. So it's been working its way back, painfully, but working its way back. So that's a good sign. Let's take a look at the chat. See what you guys got going on out there. I see a lot, pages and pages of stuff. Let's see. I don't know if I can start at the beginning, but I'll do that and scan here. I see a lot of folks. And Federico's out there. Michael's out there. We appreciate you seeing. Extra S. He's a good Crypto World. Electroneum Philippines. Duncan Selby. My buddy Duncan's out there. And Duncan says, Hey Dino. Hope you're well, mate. And I hope you're doing good too, Duncan. I got my mask there. If not, you can wrap toilet paper around your head, you know, and use that as a mask. Actually, one of the things that I've been creating is an N95 equivalent based on the EUA that the FDA released that allows me to produce masks for nursing homes and hospitals and all this other stuff. Except that my mask isn't certified for surgery, but I did create a nice mask and created a silicone seal on it. It's all 3D printed, but I can make molds and then cast these things in plastic for high production if I have to. And it's pretty neat. And I'm using filtering paper from 3M. MERV 14, which is extremely reliable to capture all bacteria and viruses and all that good stuff. And I had to ship some stuff in from China because it's just sold out here. But that worked out well, and made a face shield and a counter display, a counter shield. So if you have a retail store, you can put it on your counter and you can put your hand through and get the money and all that stuff. So, you know, I made a couple of things to help bring in some extra funds, give us something to do here at the shop, and you know, create something that's going to be helpful to everybody in the long run. So that's been an interesting thing for me to do. Electroneum Philippines says, hello Dino, we appreciate you guys. Let's see here, Crypto World. The Crypto World saying, hey, do you think that the team can have the block rewards on ETN blockchain? Well, you know, when they went to the proof of responsibility, let's talk about that. They went to proof of responsibility. They did lower the emissions about 75%, which was which sounds significant. And at the time I said, I still think it's too much. And the reason is because that the rewards were split amongst, you know, thousands and thousands of people, or miners. And you were able to score a little, you know, snag yourself some breadcrumbs, you know, for Electroneum. And when you have 75% reduction and the 25% that's left over is spread across 20 people, which I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think it's that much. As far as NGOs, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 5 or 6 NGOs that are running nodes. I think they said 11, possibly. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 11. You know, unfortunately, we don't know. There's no listing of approved validating nodes and who owns them and who runs them. I wouldn't be surprised if Electroneum themselves is running one, at least. Not sure what they would do with the coins. I guess they could put them back in the bucket, put them off to the side for emergency or rainy day. I don't know. But they would have to run at least one so that they can see how the environment's working and participate in. So they've got to have at least one. I wouldn't be surprised if they had more. And so the question is can they have the block rewards again? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember. I don't remember if that was something that was discussed or not, but I think that it would be apropos to reduce the rewards a little bit more. It only allows the blockchain to continue to run for longer periods of time if they do that, and especially if they're not going to be adding significant more NGOs or certified miners or whatever. I don't, God knows what's. Electroneum's always got some crazy ideas going on that turn out to be pretty exciting and fun. So I don't know what they got squirreled away behind the curtain. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's very viable, and I would not be surprised if they lower the block admissions further. So Chaz is saying, it's good to see Chaz. So the collapse of the economy push some people toward Electroneum and free phone minutes. It's possible. As long as Electroneum is giving out free coins, you're crazy if you're not running it and collecting some. It's free. If Electroneum wasn't handing out coins, I'm not sure that statement would be true. There'd be no reason except for because if they didn't have the money to buy any type of cryptocurrency, I'm not sure. Now, if there's enough out there and it's being used and it's circulating and they're on any task and they're earning it, well, sure, they're going to want to use the Electroneum. They're going to want to look for vendors. They're going to want to look for, hopefully one day we'll see the ETN Anywhere program kick up. And and we'll see things happening, and then that would be a very good use case for people to continue to want to use Electroneum when they have no way of earning anywhere else. Electroneum has a good opportunity there because they have all this stuff built already, and the potential is significant. And if they can keep this magical mystery bus going forward at the same pace that they've been doing it, there'll be a day for Electroneum. Put it this way, I ain't selling my Electroneum. I consider that money lost. So. Luckily I have other resources for financials, but no, I'm not selling my Electroneum. Am I buying Electroneum? I wish I could say yes. This month I have not been able to purchase any cryptocurrency. I've made a financial decision not to do that, and it's one that it hurts my heart because they're some of the best prices ever. But my problem is that I have to stay liquid as much as possible right now because, like I said, just to keep my building open, I got to spend $15,000 a month, and so therefore keeping liquid is really important to me at the moment, and it overrides my want to purchase cryptocurrency. Phoenix Rising. Hey Dino, is Electroneum dead? No, get that guy out of here. Yeah, Bitcoin's dead. Electroneum dead. No, come on. These are silly questions. I think you guys had some good questions for me. No, Electroneum's not dead. Electroneum. Every cryptocurrency is getting their ass handed to them right now. All right, and it doesn't matter what's going on. Electroneum has a unique issue because they have the goods. They have the goods. They just don't have the demand. Not yet. And it's a perplexing problem. And one that over time I'm sure will be solved and will be rectified. In the meantime, you've got to have nerves of steel to be able to want to continue to hold on to it. You see the price go down, and I see these people, oh, it's Electroneum, all this money, Electroneum's down. No, all the cryptocurrencies are taking a bloodbath. Unless you're in the top 20, you're not going to see anything exciting. It's going to be very laser focused where all this money goes. It's going to go into Bitcoin. It's going to go into Ethereum. Then you'll start to see these second tier coins, XRP and BNB, and some people buy Satoshi Vision and Cash. What are you going to do? It is. And then you have the dark horses, which are going to get the sprinklings, and whatever crumbs fall off the cake plate will end up going to that. And until Electroneum can present its case effectively to the crypto community, because the crypto community is going to be the one that's going to get it kick-started, the 99% of the rest of the world will pick up on it and continue to use it. But we've got to see any task. We've got to see any task cleaned up and finished up and polished, so that they can actually start doing some actual advertising. We've got to see Electroneum getting more involved in the crypto community, getting the word out there, getting it on the tongue of some of these key people, so that they can actually see. Almost all of them have no freaking clue what it does. Very few. And I'm just gonna go. Let's go with crypto YouTubers. I'm in a group with 175 of the biggest crypto YouTubers, and I think there's maybe 6 of them that actually understand what Electroneum does, and that's a shame. I spend a lot of time trying to educate that group, but when they go to talk, they're going to talk about Bitcoin. They're going to talk about Ethereum. You'll have a couple people that are just freaking stuck on XRP. But the fact of the matter is, it's a tough sell. There's no numbers to catch their interest, and therefore they don't even bother to learn. Well, that actually is doing something. It's actually solved all the problems that everybody else is doing. It's a really freaking strange problem. But I'm going to tell you something. I ain't selling my Electroneum. I'm still mining. I have my ASICs mining Monero Classic, and then I take the money and I convert it into Electroneum. I think it's still making me, I don't know, 1,500 to 1,800 Electroneum a day. That's not too bad. So I keep that going. I'm not gonna shut that down. No, Electroneum's not dead. Don't ask me again. Hey, Paul. We got Paul out there. It's good to see you. What? What the heck is that? Hey, what, you got your Hobbit pipe? You know, they were talking about the virus that if you... Oh, I think I said this already. If you consume tobacco, or should I say nicotine, it was like 80% less chances of running into difficulties with this virus, which is weird and interesting. Here we go. This lecture, this week. Oh my gosh, you guys cracked me up. Live TV Mike. He goes, in your opinion, what coins do you think will 20x in the next bull run? Wow, 20x. That's pretty significant. That's pretty significant. I think you can see some 10x's. The only ones you're going to see 20x or better are on page 2. All right, they've got to have a very low market cap. You're going to have to find something that that has significant potential, that has assets in place, that's financially stable, that has functionality, has ways to transmit, receive, the store, to interact, that you know, something like Electroneum. No. You gotta really take a look. It's not just a coin that, yeah, you know, Darrow. Yeah, it's got good tech. It's just a coin. There's nothing special about it that's gonna keep somebody from. Why would I spend my money if I'm buying? I'll mine Darrow. I'll put it to the side. There's no freaking way on earth am I gonna go buy it. What purpose does it serve? There are already coins out there that do that job, that are stable, that we know we can count on. Trying to duplicate, I don't know. I think we're going to see more of these, this fluff. You know, they have a dedicated community of so many members, and it keeps it flying and all, but there's no reason to put money into those things. So you've really got to find that rare diamond, and those are the ones you're going to see. You're going to see a 20x, a 100x. I think you'll still see 100x's on some coins, but you're going to be looking at page 2 or further down. Can't give you any specific names. All right. Chaz is saying, nicotine probably damages the access points, the cell receptors in your lungs. Just a guess. Yeah, well, you know, it can get in your eyes, get in your lungs. I don't know, maybe they're going to start telling you can stuff it in your ear. Yeah, they were saying 2 things, that it either blocks or damages the virus so it can't latch on and start eating away. The second thing is they're noticing that a lot of people are dying from blood clots. That the virus is in there, yeah, they're doing all right, but all of a sudden your body is creating very large blood clots that are getting caught in major veins, major arteries, and are causing stroke and heart attacks and other physical damage. And they're thinking that it could be that you know, somebody that's really healthy, it doesn't smoke, their immune system goes into overdrive and starts grabbing a hold of everything and clumping it up, and that people that smoke, their immune systems aren't going wild, you know. It's they're a little more relaxed and mellowed out, and they're like, okay, we'll head over there, man, when we can. and You know, and it's because they're not in overdrive. They're not overdoing it. It's not causing these problems. So they're not exactly sure. But I know in France, they're starting to put in one of the hospitals and on some of the patients, they're giving them nicotine patches. The nurses and some of the doctors, they're doing tests. But everywhere, China, France, U.S. For example, in the U.S., was it 14% of the people smoke? Only 1.1% of those people that smoke, only 1.1% are when they check in as a COVID, do you smoke? And people are, letting them know, and the value is coming out to 1.1%. You would think, because the virus isn't picking, I'm gonna get that guy. Oh, look at that woman. Let's get her. And they go running over there. They just pick everybody, and they found that the percentage of people that have been infected is about 1.1% that consume nicotine, where 14% of the population consumes nicotine. And and that's probably not even people that vape and all this other stuff. So, and in China, they had the same thing. In France, they had the same thing. Significant, 75% difference. So, don't go smoking. But the patches might work. I don't know. Something to think about. Extra says he thinks that the smoke kills the virus in the throat. It is possible. You got all that tar and nicotine and all those chemicals that are in smoke in your lungs, and the virus goes and it wilts. Maybe, it's possible. Crazier shit happens. Pugsy Random says, any inside info, Dino? Yeah, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. What I will tell you is that there's still plenty of meat on the bone, and Electroneum's been working hard, and there's still a lot of good stuff for Electroneum to release. That's all I can tell you. All right. I hope that satisfies your quest for knowledge. Let's see here. Jay Sullivan says, I hope you're staying safe and healthy. And of course, live text goes, God bless you, Dino, and Trump 2020. All right. Let's see. Jay Sullivan says, yeah, I guess everybody's trying to grab that Monopoly money. No kidding. Especially there was like a real big thing that went on here in the States. And I think the banks today are starting to get sued. All the banks, they got all this money and they said, we're going to help this small business. Go on our website, you can type in your information. And the day that it was released, all of a sudden the banks go, we're having some technical difficulties. It's going to take us another week or so that we can get you going. And Chase put up, a week later, Chase put up enter your information here. You got no confirmation. It was just a form, and it probably didn't even get saved to a database. God knows. There was no interaction, nothing. It was just to shut people up so that they can type their name in there. And this went on for like a week and a half before they made it available to the people that they were supposed to be servicing. Well, in the meantime, those banks were giving away tons of money, all right, to people that owed them money, the accounts that they like, friends, people that were paying. Like, if you could go, like how many people called me up and said, yeah, for $500, I'll make sure you get your, I'll fill in all the paperwork, get it to the right people, make sure that you get your share of the pie. And this is what was going on. Not only that, you had corporations. Corporations would... The program was for small businesses, 500 employees or less. Maximum loan, $10 million. That's a lot of money. But maximum loan, $10 million for your employees. Well, in that period of time that they didn't make it available to the small business and they were giving it out, there were over, 80 publicly traded companies with 100, 150, 200 million market caps stealing this money. You had companies like what was the Burger Shack or whatever, and Chris Root's Steakhouse. They were awarded $20 million. Now, you go back and you say, how can they get $20 million? It caps off at $10 million. And they have 5,000 employees. How does Sam crap does that happen? See, this is what gets me. It gives me a rash on my ass. All right? Because the banks make sure that if they owed, I guarantee you, Chris Root's Steakhouse owed that bank a ton of money. And that bank wanted to make sure that they were going to keep them in business so that they can get their money back. They got them $20 million. It caps at 10. How the heck did they get 20? All right? You had Burger Shack, $10 million. This is a publicly traded company. There were like 75 publicly traded companies that got this money through little loopholes. It's bullshit. And that's the reason why the president, Trump, came out there and he said, a lot of these... You had Harvard. Harvard got a loan. A big loan. An EDIL loan. One that I can't even get them to respond to me for. They got a big loan. Harvard's got $21 billion in assets squirreled away. And when they were asked, they said, "Oh well, we're gonna give it as grant money to our students." And I'm sure they got all of a sudden told that they would get freaking put in jail because the loan was not to be given for grant money; it was to help run the businesses. So they actually acquiesced and they said that we're gonna get the money back. It's offensive. And they're going to have a riot on the street if they don't get this shit straightened out. Because there's a lot of people that work for small business. And a lot of these small business owners are going to be pissed. And they're going to be walking the street. And the problem is every one of them has 10 employees or more. And they're not going to be very happy either. So this stuff's got to be fixed. It's craziness. It's always the way it is. We'll have no accountability. We'll have no idea where all this money went. And the problem is that all those people that we were promised to get it didn't get diddly. So where the frick is it? Where's the money? Jazz goes, "Hey Dino, why do people say I am not a financial advisor? Can anyone sue if people don't use those words?" I don't think you could. It's pretty clear that most of the YouTubers are just goofballs like me. And we're in the right place at the right time. Got a lot of people watching them or show up every day. And turned it into a career. But I think it's in everybody's best interest just to make sure that you use that verbiage. And to make it clear to the user, because there was a lot of new people that come on, and there's a YouTuber, he must know what he's talking about, and he's got a show, and they think that this is a direction of what to do, and it's more or less for the YouTuber because they end up getting hassled well, you told me to buy this, and you know I lost all this money. Well, no, I didn't tell you to buy it. I told you up front. I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I'm just a goofy guy in a straight hat, you know, in a straw hat. And a lot of them, you know, I don't have that problem here because I don't give those types of guidance. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, it's a litigious world, especially in the States. It's crazy. You can sue anybody for anything you want. And you know, our government's broken down into three equal, supposedly equal groups. And, you know, you have your legislative that creates the laws, your executive that polices the laws, that's the president. And obviously your legislative is your Congress and your Senate. And then you have the judicial, which judges the laws based on the executive that arrested the people based on the laws that were created by the legislative. And the presidency is weird. It's a one guy type of thing. It can be weird. You know, some years it goes your way, some years it doesn't. The legislative branch, Congress is a bunch of freaking buffoons. You got 540 something people that are really, I'd say 80% of them are mental patients. They do not deserve to be there. But that's what Congress was. It's based on basically for every group of, let's say, 20,000 people, you get a congressman, you know, and it's meant to represent the mob. So Congress is basically the mob rule. All right, so they control the purse strings and all the other stuff. So the mob, you know, you got your crazies, you know, burn babies, you know, and then you got a couple of people that know what they're doing. But the mob comes up with some kind of a bill, and they vote on it, and then they throw it over the fence to the Senate. Now the Senate tries to keep everything equalized. Every state gets 2 senators. So this way you don't have mob rule. If you have 20 million people in California and you got 2 million people in Rhode Island, well, there's no way that they could ever outvote the people in California. So therefore the people in California would mob rule over the people in Rhode Island. They would have tyranny over them. So by making every state equal, every state gets 2 senators, now they've been able to be equalized. Now usually a senator he's got a little more gravitas, is a little more polished, hopefully a little bit more educated, has some worldly common sense, and they get this bill tossed over to them, and they look at it and say, no, that's stupid, and they vote it down. All right, and that's hopefully. Now if it passes the mob and the Senate is been paid off, then it goes to the president for him to sign or to veto, to sign it into law. So that kind of keeps things going. But the fact of the matter is, for the most of it, it's all freaking broken. That's the moral of my story. The that part in the legislation, your congressman, that whole thing is just freaking retarded. And again, it's a mob. It's a freaking mob, and a bunch of bozos. All right, and the Senate kind of keeps things going. The presidency works the way it's supposed to. What holds the country together is the judicial system. I know that's where I was trying to go. And the judicial system is the glue. It was designed to be able to make the guy, the average Joe who's got $100 in his pocket, able to press his case, explain his case, be able to get it out there, and so that it can be judged of equal, so that they can't be trampled on by a $100 billion corporation with 50 lawyers. But the problem is, and this is the glue that's kept the United States. It's amazing the United States work. We have so many different people. We have so many different ways that things run here. It's amazing. It does not just freaking explode. And the reason why it hasn't is because the judicial system in the past has been the glue to say, no, you can't do that. You can't step on this little guy. And what's happened lately is a lot of justice is no longer justice. It's become legal trickery. Who can create the best trickery? Who can outspend you? So you may not be able to defend yourself saying you're a financial advisor. It's better off that you say it, because hey, I made it real clear right up front. I'm not a financial advisor. I even said I'm just a goofy guy in a straw hat. You want to listen to me? Well, you're the mental patient that's listening to me. All right? And so that in a court of law, it's clear, because anybody could sue you, and you should be able to defend yourself. Now, like I said, this is, as long as the judicial system continues to work, the USA will continue to survive. But the day that the average Joe cannot truly get justice because it's purchased through legal trickery, is the day that there's actual revolution. And that's the time when a country starts to fail. Because if a guy has his possessions all he's worked his whole life and everything's taken from him because somebody did him the injustice and he was railroaded and all of his stuff, well, that person has nothing to lose except to cause damage. And that's when a country starts to fail. And this is why you'll see countries around the world not be successful, because they are not capable of delivering equal justice. So, I hope for the United States to be able to keep that going. I kind of like it here. All right, let's see. Well, you guys typed in a whole bunch of stuff. All right, let's go to the next page. So Phoenix is saying, "Hey Dino, thanks for the KuCoin info." Yeah, no, it's you might be able to do a trade on there and everything, but I wouldn't keep any long. It's not a good idea to keep your coins on an exchange anyway. But I probably wouldn't keep more than $100 worth of coins on KuCoin currently, until we find out what all this is about. I don't want to be able to wake up one day and I can't get to the exchange because you have to be in Singapore. Yeah. Extras to say, yeah, KuCoin's the only one left for me in the US. Yeah, you got that. You got Trade Ogre, but Trade Ogre, if you spend more than $100, you move the price. So, Trade Ogre just doesn't have the liquidity required to be able to do large scale. KuCoin got it all through default, and it's really the only place you can buy a healthy amount without damaging the price too much. So yeah, it's a concern. Okay. Never give up. Never give up says, can't put ETN on a nano ledger. Can't put it on any exchange if you live in the US. Paper wallet is the only choice. Horrible. No, actually, you are incorrect. You can actually run a CLI wallet or a GUI wallet. and you can download that code off of GitHub, so you can set up an old laptop or what have you, a PC that you don't normally keep on the internet. I use an old laptop. I put nothing on it except for virus software. I have no mail on it. I use it for nothing. I never browse. I never do anything. Nothing except my storage. And on there I have the Electroneum wallet. Actually, I loaded the GUI because I did the testing on that while it was being worked on. And and I keep that working. And every couple of weeks I'll load it up, I'll connect it up, I'll let it sync to the blockchain, and you can keep some Electroneum there. And what's nice about it is it's off. It's on the decentralized part, so it's actually on the chain itself. So it's not locked up in the Electroneum wallet. So with the Electroneum wallet, it's like anything else. If you have a problem, theoretically you can open a service ticket and get some assistance. Electroneum has to get better with that, but they do have it, and they are working on making it as nice as possible, as effective, as efficient, as helpful as it can be. But if you're keeping it on your own local node, because it's a node, it's not a mining node, it's not a validating node, which is the actual technical term, but you can keep it out there. Your node is able to receive and transmit transactions, and you're dealing square with the blockchain, and so you can keep it there. And once the ledger has evaluated and approved, we'll be able to get the compiled code to run and to load onto our Ledger Nanos, which is kind of cool. If you're a tech geek, you can set up a Linux environment and download all of the dependencies and the NPM and all the other nonsense that you need to be able to compile it and get it working now yourself. But hopefully you have some time. I'm sure it's a couple of days worth of work if you don't have the environment set up already to do that. And most people are not going to have the technical capability, so you're going to have to wait for Ledger. But yes, you can keep it that way, and that works out really well. Crypto Cowboy says, Dino, great to see you. Glad you're doing all right. Go ETN. Go Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm still Bitcoin, Ethereum, Electroneum. I'm still mining Ethereum Classic. Darrow changed from, I had my X3 miners that used to run my Electroneum, and then I had moved them onto Darrow and Curity Coin. Also Monero Classic. So those are the only coins that they can mine right now. So I mine those. What else I got? I got BitTube. I keep 4 GPUs non-stop running BitTube. I think I get about 100 BitTube a day. See, BitTube's another interesting case. They've got a decent product. They've got a credit card. They've got the ability to airtime plug in. They got their own browser, just like BAT, Basic Attention Token. And it kills me because they have such a small market capitalization. And it's an actually amazing piece of software, amazing code, some really dedicated guys, and just hasn't taken off. You know what it is that they didn't give out free money to the YouTubers and the bloggers to talk about it and get people interested. And I think that's what it comes down to. BAT just kept giving away. And It created a market out of thin air, even though the product doesn't do half of what other coins do. It's a shame. Hey, you want to know me? Good to see you out there. He goes, hey, what did I miss? What did I miss? Did I miss anything? Let's see. Jermaine's going, hey, Dino. The Electroneum team has been quiet for quite a while. I wonder what they are working on. I think it would be foolish to say that this pandemic hasn't affected every company on the freaking planet. You're either super busy making toilet paper and printing out toilet paper, or extras, setting up PCs for remote access, or you're out of business, basically. Craziness. So I'm sure that it's affected Electroneum. You've got to lose a percentage of productivity as you go forward. Having said that, yeah, they got some stuff they're working on. Hang in there, it'll happen. You want to know me? You want to know me? He goes, when ETA stake... Well, who said ETN is staking? That I'd like to know about. I would like to see that. I think that's a good way to lock up coins, since you asked me. I've talked about this for the last year and a half. I think that being able to lock up some of the coins in the Electroneum wallet and earn some ETN, even though, no matter how small, I think would go a long way to locking coins out of the out of sales, from being dumped. If you can earn more, since you can't mine it. And I like the idea. I don't know when or if Electroneum is going to stake. I have no idea regarding that. And if I did, I couldn't tell you. ETN patent. I have not been able to get any information about the ETN patent and what the plan is, or if there is a plan. I can't even begin to tell you. We all know that it just didn't work out for the ETN patent, and at this point here, the patent is so what was processed is outdated and would need to be updated. And I truly have no information on that subject matter, but I'll ask. Crypto Man, it's good to see you. He goes, yeah, I'm way late, but happy to catch you while you're still alive. Been a while. It's been a long while. It was February, I think, end of February when we had the crash. It wasn't early March. I don't remember. Brad Robertson, where's the best place to buy ETN? Hey, buddy. Want to buy some ETN? I don't know if there is a best place to buy Electroneum, but there are places. Trade Ogre, if you're going to buy small quantities, is out there. KuCoin is out there, but be careful with it. Let's take a look. Let's see what this has to say. Let's move me down here for a second. Move this over. Let's try. Well, actually, Gecko probably would have the same information. Don't know funny, but I know it's on page 2. I think we're like 100 and what are we? 125 down. 120, 120. I know we're down here somewhere. There we go. 133 on CoinGecko. Let's see if they have some exchanges here that we could talk about. See, CoinGecko is very specific. You know, they're only showing Huobi and KuCoin. Obviously, you have Liquid, KuCoin, Huobi Global, Trade Ogre. If we go to, there's the stuff. What you do is you just go to CoinMarketCap. All right. Do your search here up on the top right. It's usually the easiest way. You can type in ETN. You're not going to search for me? It's just, I tell you, CoinMarketCap has turned into a big pile of poop. On my phone, it just slows everything down. And half the time, I can't get the charts. It's craziness. I don't know what the deal is, but it is. Let's look for market pairs. Where the heck is it? Usually it's right here. Alright. So System Coin, you know, these are what they're showing for volume. I don't know how Huobi, I find it impossible that Huobi Global is scoring more than KuCoin. Not by much, but that's hard to believe. System Coin, Liquid, which I thought was going to be really big, but turned out in the grand scheme of things it didn't. Artist Turba, Hit BTC. You know, you're only talking a couple thousand. If you start getting into these that have very small trade volume, it's gonna be tough. See here, with even Trade Ogre, $300 it's showing. Now I think the day just started, or you know, so these numbers build up as it goes along. I guess. I don't know if this is a rolling 24 hours or if it's a calendar 24 hours. But Trade Ogre has been pretty solid. It's just that this, you know, it's only good for buying small quantity of coins. You know, you got our Beaky guys, $2. Wow. Wow. Coinbean. That was another one that should have been a big deal. So it's been tough. Some of these, you know, I'm hoping we don't run into a problem with KuCoin. It's going to really devastate the Electroneum if they do. Let's go down here. Crypto man. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, the PPP money. Yeah, we both corporations and Dems reps. Yep. Let's catch up with some of the new stuff that you guys are talking about here. Yeah, XXYY goes, yeah, besides crazy tornadoes going on in the south, who's actually enjoy seeing Mother Earth take a breather, blue and clear skies everywhere, wildlife are liking it all over. Yeah, there's been some, I had a tornado touchdown like a mile from here last week, or craziness. I don't know if there was much damage, but oh my god. Hey, Electroneum Universe, good to see you out there. Sends lots of love over to Digitspin. I haven't talked to you in a while. I hope you're all good over there and safe. Never give up. Oh, all right, I'll try to break down things. Never give up says, thanks, Dino, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm a grandma, not a computer expert. Well, gotta get it together. I wish I could. Oh, okay. Yeah, so she's talking about when I was replying back to her of where to put it. If you're starting off, you're gonna keep your coins for Electroneum on the Electroneum app, and you can use the paper wallets. That's really the basics. Once they get a full package together for the ledger, you'll be able to, because at first it's probably just going to be the code that goes in the Ledger device, but it will not work with Ledger Live. They then have to get it connected to Ledger Live. So once it's connected to Ledger Live and the Ledger device, then you'll have another easy place to put it if you're using Ledger for your Bitcoin and what have you. But if you're doing the basics, you're going to be using the Electroneum app. Yeah. And you definitely don't want to keep it on exchanges, at least any large quantities. Sorry about that there. All right. Miss Never Give Up. All right. Let's go back here. Candy Girl. Hey, Candy Girl. Good to see you there. We haven't seen you in a while. Electrum Universe. Yeah, I'm doing good. So you want to know me saying, hey, Dino, if Bitcoin becomes the world currency, I can see Electroneum affiliates, non-for-profits handing out bread and paper wallet with 100 Electroneum worldwide, but not use it. How the price would be affected? All right. Bitcoin's not going to become a currency this year. Maybe not even next year. Maybe by the next halving, we'll start seeing it being used more and more as a currency. But it's far from a currency. Right now, it's digital gold. It's a store. It's storing. And for big ticket items, yeah, it's spent for big ticket items. But it's not a daily currency, and I'm not sure it ever will be. I know they're trying to get it set up with Lightning and other methodologies to be able to spend and use Bitcoin, but I'm not sure that's where it needs to be. Especially, it's going to have to be an off-chain solution, because running it on blockchain, on the Bitcoin blockchain, is going to be too costly. A transaction has got to go up in price. And if it's going to cost you $10 for a transaction or $5 for a transaction, it's only going to be used for moving wealth around, to store wealth. It's going to be your savings account. Okay? Some of the other coins will end up being your checking account, your debit card type of solution. And those are things like Electroneum, possibly Ethereum, or coins on the Ethereum blockchain. That's where you're going to have your expenditures. Bitcoin is not going to be currency for a while, as you mean to both know it. And non-profits handing out ETN. The current non-profits that are attached to Electroneum are in more need to help their projects than they are capable of doing it. I think it would be wonderful. Those NGOs. Let me start over. Those NGOs that are securing Electroneum, I think it would be fantastic for them to be able to give Electroneum to those people in need in their scope of work or scope of project that they're trying to attach. And I think that they can give a real world value to somebody that could use it, especially with Electroneum being able to top up their phones. And once ETN everywhere starts to get going and more retailers are enticed, appropriated, added, selected, and brought into the fold to accept Electroneum, then that gift that's given to those who could use it from an NGO, I think will have more significant value, and would be looked for and appreciated a whole lot more. What you bring up there, I think, is a really plausible event for Electroneum. Not this year, but at some point, I could see that happening, and I can see how Electroneum could be coveted and wanted, and be able to be used going into the future. You know, I look at projects when I buy something, when something's new, fresh and new, when it comes off, and I decide to pick up some. I go by the 8-year rule, and I take a look at it. You know, it's gonna, almost every coin took 6 to 8 years before it really started to be integrated and used. Now, Bitcoin took longer. It was the first, the trailblazer. It had to actually carve out every road that it needed to go, where all the other coins can use those roads, so that they have the ability to take it and go further, faster. Having said that, it just takes time for these things to actually happen, for it to be integrated, appreciated, loved, and understood by those around you. And you know, just like email and the internet and everything else, you know, it took 10, 20 years before the public understood or grew up with it in school and knew about it, and that it technically functioned easily enough that the average Joe could care less about the technical nonsense, but was able to use it. All right. When cars first came out, you had to be a mechanic. If you weren't a mechanic, you hired a mechanic, and he sat in the back seat when you drove somewhere. And the reason is, if the damn thing needed to be serviced and fixed when you were on the road, you needed the mechanic. Imagine going to the, yeah, we're going to take a trip. We got to go upstate. And you got to put the mechanic, you got to hire the mechanic, or people that had the cars at the time had enough wealth to have them on staff. And the mechanic would come with you on the trip. All right. Now, you get in a car, I don't even have a key anymore. I push the button, the thing starts up. I ask it to get going. It drives itself wherever it wants to go. I don't need to know all the nonsense. Luckily, I do. I used to rebuild cars when I was young. I have the basics down. If you give me a 68 to 75, I can take care of it. Luckily, with my computer background, I can probably take care of most current vehicles too. But the fact of the matter is, you don't care. I don't care where the oil goes. I opened up my hood, and I wanted to check my transmission oil. I'm like, where the frick is the dipstick? And I sit there looking on my phone. It's a sealed transmission. I'm like, what the heck? What do you mean it's sealed? What kind of shit is that? That took me. You don't need to know. So, just the way it is. Oh my god. Let's see here. Oh, Express was saying he believes that Oliver said they moved on from the patent, if I'm not mistaken. I assume that to be true also. That it would have been neat, but they would have to start over from scratch at this point, and I'm not sure the squeeze worth the juice. All right. Let's go back up here. Enrique Loco. It's good to see you, Enrique. There's my crazy friend Enrique. Oh, Fedora Dino. No. Say here, Electroneum Universe is saying, hey, you can buy and sell on electroniummarketplace.org, just like eBay and Amazon. So, if you have something that you manufacture and you want to sell it for Electroneum, go take a look at Electroneum Marketplace. It's etnmarketplace.org. I think a lot, if I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of the song artists are putting their music out there. I know you can get the Electroneum Anthem and some of the other stuff, but a lot of folks are putting products on there so that you can purchase it. etnmarketplace.org. Check it out today. All right. Oh. CoinGecko. Let's see here. Paulie. Hey, Paulie. CoinGecko. You can see a bigger list of exchanges. Click on the See All Trading Pairs. Tell us your thoughts on FineXbox. How about that? Let's go back in time here. So, if you go to markets, there we go. So, is this CMC? Am I on? Yeah, CoinGecko. Okay, on the markets here. So they do have a list of more. And again, it's KuCoin, Huobi. See, it depends on how it's being reported. And it's basically the same that you saw in there. Now, FineXbox. Interesting. Let's take a look at that. I don't see any. They got Bitcoin on here? Yeah, they got a Bitcoin trade. I've never used them. I trust score. It's got a trust score of 5. Got a lot of coins out there. I've never used them. Maybe one of you guys have used FineXbox. And you can put something in the comments or in the comments below or in the chat room there. Interesting. I've heard the name, haven't tried it. I just don't have time to go pester around with all these different exchanges. I mean, if I did this full time, this was my job, I'd be doing this stuff. But I'm just here to entertain myself, hang out with you guys. All right. All right, never give up. Hey, oh good. I hope I was able to answer your question a little bit better for you. Okay. By the way, what happened to the ETN Binance contest? What happened to the ETN Binance contest? Binance got a lot of people tweeting or twittering. Binance and their favorite coin, and they took 2 coins that I don't think even had anybody talk about them and put them up against each other. And I'll be honest, I don't really give a crap. I could care less. That whole thing is a joke, and there's no reason to even be asking us. They should just go freaking pick 2 coins that have agreed to put their blockchain on Binance chain, which is the only reason why they would add them, or what other financial gain Binance would receive, and just keep us out of it. Just freaking put 2 coins on there, and then let the people know who's using Binance to go vote for one of them. All right. I feel like a sucker every time. Every time that freaking Binance does this, I'm like a mental patient. Oh, maybe we could. Nah, don't even bother. Don't even bother. Even if they liked Electroneum, they would never put Electroneum on it unless it was paid for. And we'll put Electroneum on it because Electroneum will never move their blockchain to Binance. So they're not interested. They would never give it to Electroneum. It would have to be paid for. Simple as that. Applicant. Oh my God! 1.21 gigawatts! Oh, what's wrong with me? How could I have done that? Oh, Jesus! Oh, what a classic! You know, I was watching YouTube and there was a guy. He was a young kid. I don't know, 20s, and he did a video. And the title of the video is, "How could I have never seen this movie before?" And it was Back to the Future. And I laughed because, you know, I watched Star Wars in the Fox Theater on 100mm film on release in 76 and 77. And it ran for like a year and a half in the Fox. They played no other. It was one theater. And it had a 100mm screen up in the front. 2 aisles, mezzanine up on the top. It was huge. It held 2,000 people. It had at least 1,000 people, 1,500. I mean, it held a lot of people. It was a big, big theater. It was just a self-contained building. And it was a Fox Theater in Wisconsin, in Long Island. And everybody was opening multiplexes. And nobody was going to the Fox Theater anymore. They were running these movies, and they would have a couple people show up. It would, you know, it was in the middle of nowhere at the time, but it was a Fox Theater. It was an official theater, and they were about to close up, and they said, "We're going to close up, and then in the next 2 months, we're just going to run this last film. This is going to be the last movie. So come take a look at it if you want." And the last movie was Star Wars. Well, as a kid, I had saw it probably 9 or 10 times. You have nothing to do on that weekend. Let's go see Star Wars. It was just what you did. It was such a phenomenon. Well, Star Wars ran there for a month. And it ran there for 2 months. It ran there for 6 months, every day. The only freaking movie that theater played was Star Wars in a Fox Theater, 100mm. And when you watched it, it was like you'd feel like it was coming over your head. The opening shot. Because the screen was so big. There was nothing like it. It ran for 6 months. It ran for 9 months. It ran for a year, and there would be lines every freaking day, especially the weekends, to go see Star Wars for 1 year. It ran for a year and a half. They played Star Wars for 1.5 years. Nothing else. That's all they played. Until it finally calmed down about a year and a half later. And then they closed the theater. That was a movie. So I laugh when I grow up, Back to the Future, and I'm like, how can somebody not see Back to the Future? How's that even possible? How's that happen? Electroneum Universe. Long Island, yeah! Gotta be from Long Island. Oh, it cracks me up. I used to work in Manhattan. It was really weird. I think I spent more time on the train, bus, the subway, and walking than I actually did at work. Coming there and coming back. I think I spent 2 hours to get to work, 2 hours to get home. 8 to 10 hours of work. It's crazy. It's crazy. I go home just to sleep in a bed. It's nuts. Hey, we're going to call it. I want to thank you. Hey, if you enjoyed what you saw today, give us a subscription. If you think I earned it. And a like or a dislike is great. Obviously, drop a comment below so you can tell everybody how smart you are. I'll see you guys again. I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll catch you next time. Star Wars! It's too bad Disney bought it. They just trashed it. What a bunch of jerks.